So for this activity, we are going to identify the different security threats and vulnerabilities that we can encounter to our computers. Let's begin. Information theft is okay. Let's first base on these things on answering these things. Okay. Now, sending a virus to format a hard drive is data loss and manipulation because the virus can manipulate the hard drive. How can I say? Virus can spread to your hard drive until it fills all of your it fills the size of your hard drive. Example, the virus can duplicate itself, so it can continuously grow and eat your hard drive memory like that. I think that's how the BIOS works. Then altering data records is data loss and manipulation because altering data records, it's like the data that you have saved, it can be it can it can be lost, and it can be altered. So next, preventing legal users from accessing data services. It is a disruption of services. It is a disruption of services. Now, so I will change my explaining strategy. So I will answer all of this first before I explain everything. Okay? Still in scientific research reports, but this too I won't explain it because I already explained this too. So the rest I will explain it after I fill all the answers. Stealing scientific research reports is information theft. Stealing, stealing a company's user database, it's also information theft. Um, Overloading a network to keep user out is a disruption of service. Making illegal purchase online is identity theft. And impersonating someone to obtain credit is identity theft also. Okay, so all of my answers correct. Now I'm going to explain one by one. In information theft, stealing scientific research reports and stealing a company's user database is information theft. Why stealing a scientific research report is information about, I think, scientific research or other researchers. If if you stole, excuse me, if you stole one of those research reports, it's information theft because there's a lot of information that you can gather to that report. Also, the stealing a company's user database, it is a company needs their user database to manage their employees. So to manage their employees and everything about the company. So stealing those companies belongs to information theft because they're stealing information about the user database of a companies. Next is identity theft, making legal online purchases and impersonating someone to obtain credit. Uh, Making illegal online purchases is identity theft. Why? It's because maybe someone who who stole your identity can buy illegal online purchases online, and also impersonating someone to obtain credit like hacking credit card. It's identity theft because oh, no, my explanation is wrong. Impersonating someone to obtain credit as identity theft, like the posters on Facebook. They Some of them gain credit because they impersonating someone. And last is the disruption of services, preventing illegal users from accessing data services and overloading a network to keep out users. This disruption of services doing is they they will disrupt the users doing on their computer. Example, browsing in web, uh, and there's a sudden loss of connection, or that is an overloading a network to keep users out by makes the internet slow, so overloading the network to keep user out, and preventing legal users from accessing data services like that. And proceeding to the next figure, it is the part two of security threats and vulnerabilities. Also, this is the vulnerabilities here on the right side, and on the left side is our choices that we are going to put on these things. So let's begin. Able critical cables and components is for maintenance. Control temperature and humidity is environmental. Control access to console ports, it's hmm, I think it's maintenance. Um, Use security cameras, it's hardware. Create positive airflow, it's environmental. Install redundant power supply, electricity. Yes. Um, Lock up devices. Oh, this will be hardware, and this will be here. Prevent access. Let's check. Oh, my first answer is correct. Okay, let's um let's explain why this two is wrong and why the other is correct. Hardware uses camera, and it must be lock up devices, prevent unauthorized access. So, to protect our hardware, we must use security cameras maintain the to maintain our things secured, and also lock up devices prevent and we should lock up okay, let's exchange this too. Okay, so we should lock up devices to prevent unauthorized access. Why? uh, we can simply example, we have a server. Our server must be protected on a second floor of a building. It's for security purposes. Then locking up our device and w- securing the securing the device lock so that the authorized personnel will be able to interact with those devices inside the room. So this too may avoid some uh, some things that might that might create a danger for our devices. So next is environmental. Environmental control temperature and humidity, create positive airflow. Environmental is on how we how we maintain the how we maintain our devices based on its surrounding, like that. Because controlling temperature and humidity and creating positive airflow is part of that. Now next is an electrical. Electrical is by the way, all of this is a security management practices. Oh, okay, let's proceed. Electrical. Uh, we must install redundant power supplies or install UPS system. So when an unfortunate power loss, we have backup to power our devices. Now this control access to console ports. Okay, on maintenance, we should label cables and components so avoid confusing on where that cable belongs and what that cable will do, like that things, just to know where it uh, just to know what is the use of it. Then control access to console ports is also a maintenance. Why? Because access to console port must done by a person or personnel main that maintain the security for that, for example, for a LAN switch, etc. By securing console port, if someone who is unauthorized plug a console port on a LAN and to his or her PC, if he or she doesn't know the password for that console port, uh, he he won't able to configure it, and that's all. He can configure it if he's not un he is unauthorized. So this is the end of of my video. I hope you learned something. I hope you understand what I've said, and thank you for watching, and peace. So in this video we will we're going to do an activity about types of attacks. Types are example virus, worms, access. These are example of the attacks, and this are scenario that will distinguish what attack it is. So what are we waiting for? Let's begin. Um, the first scenario is a computer is used as a print server for ACME Incorporated. The IT staff failed to apply security updates to his computer for over 60 days. How now the print server is operating slowly and sending a high amount of malicious packets to its NIC. It's a worm. It's a worm. It's a worm. It's a worm attack because having an avoidance of uh, of or having failing to apply security updates for almost 60 days will make your computer prone to viruses. So I think it's aware. Uh, Next scenario is Sharon, an IT intern at ACME Incorporated. She noticed some strange packets while revising the security logs generated by the firewall. A handful of IP addresses on the internet were sending malformed packets to several different IP addresses at several different random port number inside ACME. I think it's reconnaissance. So it's correct. Now let's proceed to the next. Uh, Security attack scenario is Jeremiah was browsing the internet from his personal computer when a random website offered pre-program to clean his system. After downloading running the executable, the operating system crashed. Crucial operating system related files had been corrupted, and Jeremiah's computer required a full disk format and operating system reinstallation. So it's a virus. A virus will corrupt all the things the the things on a computer to make it crash. So it's a virus. That's why Jeremiah's computer required a disk format and operating system reinstallation to fix that virus. Okay. The next scenario is Ariana found a flash drive laying on the pavement of a wall parking lot. She asked around but couldn't find the owner. She decided to keep it and plug it to her laptop, only to find a photo folder Feeling curious, Ariana opened a new photos before formatting the flash drive for her own use. Afterwards, Ariana noticed that her laptop's camera was active. It is a Trojan horse. Why? It is a Trojan horse because it uses a friendly I think an file example a file a photo. It uses a photo that if you access that photo, it will going that when the start that when the attack begins. So that's why her laptop's camera was active after he opened that photo. Now let's proceed to the next figure. The security attack scenario is Angela, an IT staff member at ACME Incorporated, noticed that communication with the company's web server is very low. After investigating, she determined that the cause of slow response is due to computer and internet sending a very large number of malformed web requests to ACME's web server. It is a DOS or denial of service attack. It is um, because having a slow response due to the computer and the internet is due to the computers and the internet because it sends a very large amount of malformed web requests which make the internet slow. So it's a denial of service attack because that the service it attacked the server no it attacked how the server the service interact with the user, like having a slow internet, slow PC. I know, not slow PC, just slow in internet. That next scenario is George needed to share video with a coworker. Because of the large size of the video file, he decided to run simple FTP server on his workstation to serve the video file to his coworker. To make things easier, George created an account with a simple password file and provided it to his coworker on Friday. Without the proper security measures, a strong password, and IT staff surprised to learn on Monday that George's workstation compromised and was trying to upload but it is access because of the security of the of what do we call it? Poor security measures. The the attacker was able to access easily the computer and gather data. Now, mm, that's all for this activity, and thank you for watching. I hope you understand something on my simple explanation about this activity, and also I hope you learned something from me. Thank you for watching, and peace. Okay, for this activity, we are going to do show commands. Show commands. There are show commands scenario that, and this the commands to show different type of things on the LAN on the router rather or switch. Mostly router. Uh, let's begin. Users you suspect there is a problem with the current switch configuration. You want to see the state configuration so that you can compare it to what is running. So it will be show startup config because example, you already configure the switch or router and you already saved it and you done another configuration. So to 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 compare it to currently running, you will going to type to the privilege exec mode show startup config, then it will show up the configuration that you've saved before you configure it again. I think it's very clear. Okay. Next scenario is you are on call with the Cisco technical assistant personnel. They ask you for the switch iOS name, RAM, and VRAM, and flash available. They also ask for the hexadecimal boot location. So it is show version. Why? Because show version will display everything about the intermediary devices that you're using. That's simple. That's simple. Next is you are running the EIGRP routing protocol and need to know the update intervals, what active interfaces and network are being advertised by the router. It's show IP route. Because show IP route will show you everything about the routing on the router. Example, the if the address is EIGRP or in a remote connection or in a direct connection, like those things. And that's all. Next is you cannot get to the internet. You need to find out your router has a path to the internet and which protocols are being used to provide the paths. It is show IP protocols. Next, your network documentation really needs to be updated. A quick listing of the IP addresses of your router in relation to their MAC addresses would help finish the task for coding purposes. Okay, show ARP or address resolution protocol because it will show us the MAC address of the computer and I think also the IP addresses. Next is a switch the closest intermediate. This is the last intermediate device to you. It has 24 ports, the fast Ethernet ports, I think. Uh, you want to see a simple list of ports being used, their status bill and IP addresses to switch. It is show IP interface brief in for interface short term per interface because show IP interface brief, it will show you everything about the ports if the ports is up or administratively down or down at all like that. It will show you if the VLAN has the VLAN IP has an IP address or not. Then it will show you if the protocol is up or not or down. Let's check. Okay, it's correct. So that's all for my video for today. I hope you understand something from me. I hope you learned something new and thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. So for today's video, we are going to do an activity rather about order the troubleshooting step on what are the proper order to troubleshoot a problem on a network. Now let's begin. We're going to put a step-by-step process. The first step is specific doings, and we'll sta- we'll we will show if we will and after sorry after we put all of this here we will able to see if our order is right. So let's begin. I think the first troubleshooting step is identify the problem, then establish a theory establish a theory and next is test the theory to determine the cause. And step 4 is establish a plan of action to resolve Step 5, verify full system functionality. Okay, okay. As we can see, my order, all of my ordering is correct from step 1 to step 6. So step 1, we should identify the problem. We should look what the problem is, uh, what the problem tends to do, what the problem and what is the cause of the no, what's not the cause of the problem. Now the step 2 is establish a theory of probable causes. We'll think of a something about that problem that we think that it costs to make a problem. Okay, and the step 3 is test the theory. On the step on the test on the step 3, we're going to this we are going to apply our theory to determine the cause. Then the step 4, establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement a solution. We're going to plan everything that everything that we're going to do to solve the problem. And step 5, verify full system functionality and implement prevent measures. If somehow we manage to fix the problem, we must verify it and implement preventive measures to avoid that problem again. Step 6, document findings, actions, and outcomes. Documentations of something is very important for this, especially for troubleshooting. So that if you suddenly encounter that problem again, you have a documentation findings for that. So you will able to read it again and somehow you will easily fix that same problem that you've encountered before. So on this activity, that's all. And thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from me, and I hope you understand what I've said. And thank you for watching, and